So friends, welcome back to the kitchen. I'm so excited to see you guys. I still sound crazy. I have not fully, like my voice has not fully recovered, even though I am negative for COVID, but things heal when they heal. We did go into the garden this morning and pick a whole bunch of produce. So I have some parsley, some garlic, and some basil that was going to seed. Not garlic. I have parsley, oregano, and basil that was going to seed. Whoops. So I picked some of those. We'll use that for dinner tonight. Let them soak in some water with some baking soda. Look at all of these jalapenos. So many jalapenos. So we're gonna make a few things with the jalapenos. I am going to take advantage and make just a few jars of cowboy candy, and I'm gonna use some in a recipe of pepper jelly that I'm working on. And what else? But the pepper jelly is going to be mixed in with some red bell peppers that I have in the fridge. And what else? Oh, I'm gonna make some jalapeno poppers for tonight. So I'm just gonna leave those prepped, and then we'll be able to finish them when we make dinner tonight. Friends, we're gonna be preserving peppers today in a couple different ways. Join me, we're gonna have a great time in the kitchen today. So friends, one of the things that I like to do when I have like veggies soaking in the sink, just kind of being idle to get them washed, is to take advantage and get started on other things. One of the things I have going is my laundry is washing. Thank you. And now I'm going to start with chicken stock. So that's something that's going to simmer slowly. It's going to sit off to the side. It's not going to impede. So why not get it going? I'm running low. I'm actually out. So I made a roasted chicken the other day and kept the carcass and the bones, so you can see we have our chicken carcass. And I'm just going to toss that into this pot. I'm starting it on medium, and then I have like a few leftover veggies from making dinner last night, like a half an onion, most of a bell pepper. I'm gonna add more stuff to it, of course, but just to get it started. And we're gonna get our stock going, just kind of like with kitchen leftovers and scraps. Actually, I can toss them. No, I don't want to toss the seeds in there. But those are all things that are going to contribute flavor. Celery and carrots, some of that parsley, and oregano and stuff. Just going to add flavor to it. So we're going to trim the ugly ends off, and then just a rough chop with all the veggies like that. You don't even have to peel it. Like, I'm not going to peel the carrots, just going to take the tops off, cut them into quarters, into the pot. I'll do about 2 carrots. Okay, let's add, here I'll add like 2 garlic pucks into that. Put the carrots away. And I like to just toss everything in the pot. Let it get a little bit of color. The only thing I seasoned that chicken with was a little bit of Montreal steak seasoning that you can get at the store. Nothing fancy. So it has like salt, pepper, garlic, some onion, that kind of stuff. Okay, parsley is going in. I'm gonna go in with half of the oregano from this strip because I'm gonna use the other half for dinner. I'm not gonna add the basil though. Nope, save the basil for later. Okay. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of a peppercorn blend, whole peppercorn blend. And like 2 good pinches, so like 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. Water, you're gonna want to cover it completely. So I'm gonna add maybe like a gallon, gallon and a half of water. There is a very traditional way of making chicken stock or chicken broth. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna bring this up to a boil, and then I'm going to drop it down to a simmer once it reaches a boil. And that's going to be cooking for hours in there. It's just going to impart tons of flavor. It's going to be super delicious. I'm going to use this bowl for scraps today, to just collect my scraps as I work. Less dishes in the long run, less running back and forth for me. It'll be like my trash bowl. Now, so yeah, this is a chicken broth. Traditionally is nothing more than your chicken, onion, celery and carrot with a bouquet garni. And the bouquet garni would have your parsley and some thyme. Sometimes it has thyme and peppercorns, little things like that, right? This is about doing what you like. When you're at home, you are making foods the way that your family loves it. So I'm throwing in vegetables that we would normally have with our food, because at the end of the day, I'm going to use my chicken stock or chicken broth to flavor other foods. So I'm going to be adding it to sauces. I am going to be making chicken soup with it. So these are things that we enjoy the flavors of. So that's why I'm adding the bell pepper in there. The onion, the chicken with the Montreal steak seasoning, the carrots, the celery, some onion, some pepper. I'll probably come across something else I want to throw in there, and halfway through the cook, I'll throw it in there, because this is just a pot of flavor right now. So we're gonna let that simmer and heat up. Let's move on to our actual goal today, which is peppers. All right, friends, so the first thing, I'm getting my gloves on, because when you work with spicy peppers, it's just err on the side of caution. I've got my measuring cup that's 4 cups deep right here, and I'm going to, let me get what am I getting? The scale. Real talk, I've been so tired and just like brain foggy since I got sick. I lose my train of thought. It's nuts. So I'm trying to get back into the rhythm of things, even though my voice hasn't fully healed, but I need to get back into the rhythm of things, because being in a funk laying down all day is just not something that I can handle. Okay, so I've got my kitchen scale, and I've got my measuring apparatus. Okay, so all we're gonna do is work on our peppers for the cowboy cat. So I'm just cutting the top off. I'm not going to de-seed all of these. All right, friends, so we've got our pot on the stove. I'm gonna turn that on to a medium-high heat. And to that, we are gonna add 3 cups of sugar. I'm gonna add 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. A 1/4 teaspoon of celery seed. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And we're just gonna stir this until that sugar starts to dissolve. All right, friends, so once this comes up to a boil, we're gonna add our jalapenos in. Make sure we get all of them. Okay. Oh no. Had a little center there that wasn't quite as beautiful looking. Okay, and we are gonna let this simmer for 5 minutes. Okay, so they have been simmering for 5 minutes now. And all I'm gonna do is use a slotted spoon. And I'm using the little 4-ounce jars because not everybody likes the candy and the spicy of the jalapeno. I totally get that. So I'm making the smaller amount so it does not go bad. And you're just gonna pack that in all the way, leaving a little bit of room for the syrup. Okay. And I can take a little bit more. Okay. Because now, once we get these jars filled, we're going to cook down the liquid and make it a lot more syrupy. If you have a larger family, it makes sense to make things in larger quantities, but we're 3 people. We have no business making things in quart jars. Now, you can totally do that if you would like, but that's not something that's going to work out for us. This recipe can definitely be doubled and even tripled if you're making large quantities. But this is mostly something that I like. So that's why I'm making little jars. Okay. Okay, so now we're just going to clean this up here. Bring this back, and we are going to boil this for another 10 minutes or until it becomes very syrupy. Okay, friends, so while we have 1 minute left, we can tell that this is almost done because when I scoop it up, it looks very syrupy. It coats the spoon well. See, that's That's kind of the consistency we're looking for. And then I poured just a little bit into this measuring cup. Oof. And you can see that it's like really thick, it's syrupy. That's what we're looking for. So my timer's about to go off, but I just wanted to show you how I have set up. I have my jars here with the lids ready to go and the bands on the side here. I have my funnel waiting to accept. And then over here, let's just pop this way real quick. I have a bowl of water heating up. There's my timer. Okay, I have a bowl of water heating up here. And I'm just gonna drop this little rack into it. That rack came with my canner. I have a Nesco electric canner, but I use the same rack for water bath canning. It works great. Some people will put like a tea towel at the bottom, and it's just so that your jars aren't rolling around on the bottom. They're, you know, having the risk of cracking and breaking. So all we're gonna do now is turn off our syrup. And then I have a little mini ladle, like a gravy ladle. Because these jars are small and I just want a little extra control, that's what I'm gonna use. See, oh, it's a beautiful syrup. Yep. And we're gonna fill these up until there's like maybe half an inch of headspace. And I always keep a plastic fork or a plastic knife around. You never want to use metal when you're, let me see if you can see me here. You never want to use metal when you're working on glass jars, because you can crack them or nick them. And then you have wasted product. We don't want that. So I'm just running this in here just to remove any bubbles. Excuse me. And we're going on to the next one. So this is making a little bit more syrup than we need. And that's fine. If you want, you can toss the syrup. Some people can it and use the syrup alone for like salad dressings, instead of adding a honey or an agave or something to that effect. They'll add some of the syrup to add that spice, pepper flavor, which I thought was a great idea. Okay, there we go. Now I feel better about that. Okay, let's clean our rims here. Making sure there's no syrup on there so we get a really good seal. Finger tight. Next. Okay. Ooh, easy now. Okay. Just like that. Okay, friends, so now we're just gonna lift this because we have a boil, hot jar, hot liquid, hot water to start, just to keep it tempered at the appropriate temperature. I've said it a million times. If you put cold liquid into hot water bath, you risk breaking your jars. So you want to always match energy. Match energy, always. All right, I'm setting my timer for 10 minutes and we're gonna let those cans go. In the meantime, let's prep the jalapeno poppers. Okay friends, so now to start our jalapeno poppers, I saved the prettier green jalapenos that are a little bit larger. They're not like the teeny ones that are all bent and crooked and stuff. We're just gonna do a few of these, nothing too insane. It's just a nice snack for the family. School just started. I know my son's gonna be happy to see these and my husband as well. So we're gonna pop the lids off of these guys and then split them in half. And then I take a little teaspoon and I just hollow out the inside of the pepper. Okay? So we end up with a little boat, a little jalapeno boat. Okay, let's get the rest of them going. Okay friends, so over here I have about 3 ounces of cream cheese that I have put in the microwave for about 10-15 seconds to make it nice and loose. And I'm adding a 1/4 cup of shredded cheddar. This is a sharp white cheddar. And we're gonna blend this all together. And then to that, let me take my gloves off. I don't like using gloves regularly because I find that people feel like their hands are clean and they just continue to touch everything instead of just constantly changing their gloves. And you don't even notice it, but whatever. So we're gonna add a little bit of Slap Ya Mama Cajun seasoning to our cheese mixture. Okay, so now I have wet hands and I'm trying to put on gloves. This is the worst. Like they're not wet, but they're like freshly washed. Ugh. People in healthcare, how do you do it? How do you do it? All right, close enough. We just need to get these peppers stuffed. So I'm gonna take a little spoon full of the cheese mixture and spread it into everybody. Fill all the little jalapeno boats. No. I'm done with the gloves. It's a great idea. Done with it. No thank you. Not for me. Okay, so now, oh, good grief. I'd rather just wash my hands really well. So let's get that organized. We have a couple of slices of bacon here. And I don't want to add too much. I just want to make sure I have the right amount to cover everybody. I'm using an uncured bacon. There we go. Perfect, just like that. Okay, friends, so I'm just gonna put a piece of parchment on here and place our toothpick secured jalapeno poppers on this tray. Okay, this is gonna go into the fridge until right before dinner time. And then we can pop it into the oven. Okay friends, so I just turned off the water for our cans. Here they are. I'm gonna put these on a towel and let them cool completely at room temperature while they seal. Friends, so it's been a couple of days since I started this canning project. I had to take a small break in between because I was feeling terrible. So I'm the kind of person that likes to push forward at all costs. I don't like sitting idly by, and I've never seen rest and recuperation as something that's productive. Like I feel like I'm not pulling my weight, like I'm not getting the job done. So I wasn't resting properly. And as you can hear, my voice is still damaged. Like I'm still out of breath. I've always had issues with respiratory infections since I was a little kid. And this one really shook me. Everyone handles different colds, different viruses, infections, all kinds of things differently. And I've had COVID before, but this one was really intense for some reason. So I'm learning that I need to do things a little slower and then rest when I need to rest so that I don't feel out of breath and I don't feel dizzy, and just I started to feel really bad the other day, so I stopped. Let's update on what I did get done. So I did finish the jars of cowboy candy, and I finished the chicken broth. That night we cooked off the jalapeno poppers that I had prepped. I put them into the oven at 275 for 30 minutes. Then I cranked the heat up to 350 on like my oven has an air fryer setting, but for other ovens it would be like a convection where the fan circulates. If you have that, that's fantastic. If not, regular bake is fine. And it just helps to, putting it at 250 for a little while helps to render some of the fat out of the bacon without overcooking the jalapeno, and then it becomes all like funky, you know. So I put it at 250 for 30 minutes and then crank the heat up to 350 for another like maybe 30 minutes. You just want to keep an eye on it, and when it gets to the level of crisp that you want, your poppers are done. They were delicious. They were so good. I'm not even gonna lie to you, lately I'm not trying to like, you know, hype my peppers, because I'm not trying to hype my peppers, but the jalapenos that I've been growing at home are so much more flavorful than the ones I've been getting at the store. Like, yeah, the ones at the store are massive. Mine are a little bit smaller, but they're delicious, so I can't complain. Today we're gonna finish the canning projects that I had in mind for that day, and we're gonna finish with pepper jelly. If you've never had pepper jelly, it's kind of like a staple at the holidays for our family, where we have it with Ritz crackers and cream cheese, a little bit of pepper jelly. It's so delicious. It's like creamy, salty, crunchy, tangy, a little bit of bite of heat, a little bit of sweet. It's just like perfect. So I wanted to get into making my own pepper jelly because I love it so much, and I make so many other jellies. And not too long ago I went looking for it, couldn't find it at the store, was super disappointed. So I'm gonna make pepper jelly. We're gonna gather our ingredients and get to work. Okay friends, so we've got our large pot here. I'm turning it on to medium-high heat. Grab a spatula, and to this we are gonna add our bell peppers, and then our jalapeno peppers are gonna go in as well. Mix that all together. We're gonna cook it. It's gonna look like that. Okay, in the meantime, I'm gonna measure out 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. Okay? 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, and then I'm using the ball pectin. And for this measurement, we're gonna need 5.5 tablespoons. I'm gonna have to open a new jar. 2, 3, 4, maybe. Five. What? In about a half. What? I didn't have to open a new jar. I knew it. Okay. I want to stir this completely. Now that this is coming up, we're going to add our pectin and apple cider vinegar mixture. And we're going to stir this. We're going to let this boil. So we're just going to constantly stir this until the mixture comes up to a boil again. And you want it to be boiling that when you stir it, the bubbles don't go away. So it is a constant, vigorous boil. Okay, our last ingredient, because I'm at a boil, is 5 cups of sugar. I'm using an organic cane sugar. A regular white granulated sugar does perfectly fine in this recipe. I've just gotten into the habit of buying this organic cane sugar. It just tastes great to me. So you're gonna stir this in. You are not gonna walk away from this. Right now, you need to stay here and stir this, bring it back up to a boil, a good vigorous boil, and let it boil for about 2 to 3 minutes. At which time, if any foam pops up, you can grab a bowl and a ladle, or I like using the metal serving spoons, and you can remove any foam at that point to keep a crystal clear jelly. Timer has gone off. 2 minutes. Time turning it off. We're gonna let those bubbles calm down for just a couple of seconds, skim off any foam, and then I'm going to start pouring it into the jars. In the meantime, I have my stock pot heating up, or filling up with water, so that I can water bath can these guys. Okay. Now normally for us here at the house, I wouldn't bother with the foam. It's really not a big deal for me. But since we're going to be sharing these with family and friends on the holidays, I want it to be as beautiful as possible. Okay? Stock pot is full of water, so I'm going to move this right over here onto a trivet and put this on here. Heat on high, have it start heating up. Okay, just a view here for you guys. Right there. There we go. That's what we're working with. So I've got my funnel in my jars. Everything is washed. Jars have been washed. So we are going to ladle some of this delicious syrupy mixture very carefully into the jars. Now I did wash the jars in hot water, not just to sterilize, but also the other purpose that serves is to acclimate the temperature of the glass. You want to always remember when you're canning, hot liquid into hot jars, into hot water, because if not, I can't stress it enough, it will pop on you, and then it's a waste if you have broken jars. I don't know about you, I hate wasting things. So let's set this one aside. Next. Thank you, next. So because it's a jelly, I can take it a lot higher. We're not pressure canning. So I'm taking this to within 1/4 inch of the lip right here. I'm trying to be very careful, but you see I'm taking it almost all the way up. If we were pressure canning this, we would want to leave a lot more head space, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of head space. Okay friends, so this is starting to boil. I've got my rack in there. That's the same rack from my electric pressure canner. Very, very carefully. These guys are so hot. I'm moving them over here, and then I'm going to use a paper towel with warm water to just run over the edge. Make sure it's clean, the rim of the jars. There's no sugar on there because we want that to be a very clean seal. Okay? One lid per jar. I'm just gonna grab it here with the towel. Save my fingers because that jam is hot, 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 hot. And all we're doing is finger tight. We are not really cranking down on this. Okay. With the jar lifter, we're going in. So everybody is in the pot, and there's about 1 inch of water over the lids. I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes, and they are going to boil in there. Not boil, but they're going to simmer in there for the next 15 minutes. After 15 minutes are up, I'm going to turn off the heat, wait another 2 minutes with them just sitting in the water, and then remove them onto the towel and let them come to room temperature undisturbed. You don't want to be like moving them around or anything like that. Undisturbed, let them come to room temperature, and you're going to hear that amazing sound that the jars make when they go. It's amazing. It's not quite like that, but you get what I'm saying. So our timer has gone off for 15 minutes. I'm going to turn off the heat, let them sit in there, turn on the timer for 2 minutes, and then we'll take them out. All right, friends. The timer is off, and it is time to remove our beautiful jars of jelly. What? So pretty. So I'm going to, they're already making popping sounds. What? Oh, that's the best part, when they pop like that. I love it. It says, good job. So we're gonna leave those guys at room temperature, and then we will be able to label them later on and enjoy them once they cool down. I'm so excited, friends. Friends, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me, even though If you're my age, you remember I sound like the guy from Police Academy sometimes. I know you know what I'm talking about. So, friends, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me on these wonderful days, because I'm feeling so much better and I can finally get back to doing the things that I love to do. Even though I have to take it slowly, it is what it is, and we just have to learn to keep on rolling with the punches. So thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me in my projects and my adventures and my experiences. I love sharing them with you guys, and I love learning from you. Have a wonderful day. Take care of each other, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.